Ashika. So today we will because last time we have I think two topics, tetrapod, phonemics and mimicry that are left, right? So we will because I'm not so very much about this topic, so we will continue with the chapter. So I'll rectify these topics in Friday class. Okay, today is Wednesday, so I'll uh, I'll complete these topics in Friday class. So today
Yes,
we are
Ma'am, and I have
Yes.
some more doubts. Shall I ask that?
So you just send those of human body only.
Human body and animal.
So you can send those also on the app.
Okay.
So we will do the doubt clearance session on Friday. Okay. So today we will, because we were doing the chapter force, work energy, force, right? So we will be studying energy. Okay. We will be continuing with the chapter
Okay, ma'am.
today. So in the next class we will clear the doubts.
Okay.
So the chapter is energy and simple machines. So our topic is energy. So energy, the definition of energy, it is the capacity to do work. And we can say that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but only transformed in another form, from one form to another.
Yes, ma'am. I just write it.
Energy is neither created nor destroyed, but only transformed in another form. So, what are the two sources of energy?
I don't.
The renewable source of energy. Have you heard of renewable and non-renewable?
No.
No. Okay.
I think I have heard, but I don't know.
Okay. So these are renewable and non-renewable energy. So renewable sources of energy are those which are constantly replenished by nature. So the example of renewable sources of energy are sun, wind, and water. And non-renewable sources of energy, they takes millions of years to be formed. So these sources of energy are non-renewable sources of energy, and their example are fossil fuel. Fossil fuels means from that we get
Sun, wind, and water are renewable sources, or are they more?
there are more. So sun, wind, water, and soil. So those energy sources that we get from nature. Okay, and these are created by, these take millions of years to form. So such as petrol, diesel.
Oh,
So they are in limited amount. They are in. Have you wondered why the prices of petrol, diesel rises up sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes it lowers? Why it rises? Why the price
Because
rises?
the sometimes fossil fuels is easy to get and sometimes they're not.
Because India is such a country that we have to buy this petrol and diesel from other countries.
Oh.
So sometimes, and I mean, we get it from India and from we export it from outside also. So at that time, I mean, we have to purchase it. So it depends on the country. I mean, from which we are getting. If we are getting it in high cost, and more efforts are given to this. I mean, for taking petrol and diesel and other natural resources. Gas also. LPG gas is not LPG gas, but the other gas. So
Okay.
the efforts are more. That's why the prices rises. So they are
Okay.
in limited. They are limited in amount, and I'm writing here after and will be exhausted one day.
Okay, ma'am.
So Harshika, did you understood renewable and non-renewable? That as we are getting it from nature, so we are, I mean, less worried about these things because sun, wind, water, we have this in plenty, and this we have to. This takes millions of years to form, right? So
Yeah.
this we have to buy. So we are worried about these things because it is in limited amount, and one day they will be exhausted.
Okay.
Okay. So you understood renewable and non-renewable?
Yeah.
Okay. So next topic we will understand what is work. So when a force is applied on a body, it may or may not move, right? When we apply force, it's that body will it might move or cannot move. So if the applied force is sufficient to move the object from one place to another, it is said that work has been done. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
think
if
you have told about work.
about work, we have discussed, but we have not gone into deep.
Okay.
So if the applied force is Ashika,
Yes, ma'am.
now you can see. So we were talking about work. If the applied force is sufficient to move six the object this yes, if the applied force is sufficient to move the object from one place to another, so we can say that the work has been done.
Yeah.
So nowadays you are going to school, Harshika?
What, ma'am?
You are going to school nowadays?
No.
Your holidays are
Yeah.
there. So when they started?
They started 1 second, ma'am. Let me check. Last week.
Last week till when?
From 20th to 20th April to June 8th, we have holidays.
Okay, full May and June also. June 8th.
Till June 8th, we have holidays. June 9th, we have school.
Okay. So your summer vacations are there, right?
Yeah.
Good. So what's this? I mean, when the work has been done, when the applied force is sufficient to move the object from one place to another. So if the applied force is not sufficient to move the object from one place to another, then no work has been done. Okay. When the object does not
We are doing the work, but it is not done.
not yes. So we say that no work has been done.
Yeah.
Okay. So energy is the capacity to do work, right?
Yeah.
And work is
The product which we get from which we do from it.
yes. Okay. So Whenever an applied force is capable to move an object on which the force is applied, the work is done. So, for example, a boy moves a chair from one place to another by applying force. That means work is done, right? Because and uh,
Yeah.
chair moves and the force is applied
And
on
if
the
a
chair,
small baby moves, that it won't move. So we are telling that work is not done.
not done. So the same boy applies the same force on the ball to move it from one place to another. But ball cannot move. Hence we say no work is done.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are following conditions for the work to be done.
Okay.
So a force should be applied on the body. So first condition is that force should be applied. Okay. If we don't apply force, then how we can say that the work is done? So force should be applied on a body. And the body on which the force is applied should change its position, right? That means displacement. Changing of position from one place to another means displacement, right? And the third thing is that work is work, work in the sense of force. So work is said to be done when the force applied on the body and the body is on which the force is applied should change its position. So then we can say the work is done.
Yes.
Can I move to next sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
So the unit for measurement of work. Can you tell?
Yes, ma'am. It is second.
The
It is joule.
joule, right?
Yeah.
So the unit for the measurement of work is joule. So the unit of work is derived from the product of what? From the product of applied force and displacement that I told you,
Okay.
right? I have told you before
Yeah.
also.
Work into displacement. Work in joule. Displacement in meters is equal to force, and it is in Newton.
Correct. So we will do a
What, ma'am? You'll do a
numerical, numerical question.
numerical.
Find the work done if a body moves through a distance of 5 meters in the direction of applied force of Newton. So the answers, first of all, tell me what is the formula, how we will calculate the work done. So work done is equal to
Displace work done is equal to force into
displacement, right?
yeah. Ma'am, you told me that work into displacement is equal to force.
Oh, the formula is here is work done. Please change it if it gets confused. Work done is equal to force into displacement. So force is given
Okay,
to us
ma'am.
as force is given to us as 100 Newton and displacement is 5 meter, the distance. So this would be 500 joule, right? Work done. So find the work done. Therefore, four options were there: 500 joule, 400 joule, 1000 joule, and D 300. So the correct answer is
500 joule.
yes.
And 1 second, I'll just take a screenshot.
Taken, Rashika?
Yes.
Should I move to next sheet?
Yeah.
We will be solving another numerical.
Okay.
So the question is, how much work is done on lifting a body one kg up to the distance of 1 meter above the ground or vertical. Yes, Harshika. So, any idea how we will solve this question? So, when a body of 1 kg weight is lifted upward, so it requires a force.
Yeah.
The force could be of
100 Newton.
9.8 Newton. So, because it is moving upward, so it is working against gravity, right?
Okay.
So, it is 9.8 Newton because weight is 1 kg. So hence we can say that the work done formula for work done is force into displacement, right?
Ma'am, force, yes, ma'am. Force, we have to itself calculate
We have to
how
calculate,
much we think it is.
but here we are working on the thing of gravity, because we are lifting it upwards, so we are working against gravity. So what is the gravitational force? Gravitational force is 9.8 Newton. Okay. So that's why we put 9.8 Newton as the force.
Okay, ma'am.
So force into displacement is 9.8 and displacement is a distance of 1 meter. So 1 meter. So this is Newton. So it will be 9.8 Newton meter, or we can say 9.8 joule, right? Right, Harshika? So this is how we calculate this.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Should I move further?
Yeah.
Or you are noting it down? You are taking
I'm
a screenshot?
I'm done, ma'am. I'm done.
Okay. So next topic is force. So force is, we are just discussing the various topics. I know we have read it before also. So after this, we will take up the types of forces. So just a brief about force, that a force is a push or pull acting on an object, right?
Yeah.
So the force can be used to move a stationary object, stop a moving object, make a moving object move faster, or slow down a moving object, change the direction of the moving object, and change the shape and size of the object. Okay, so this is how force is used.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we will understand the type of forces. So type of force, there are different type of forces. First is the muscular force. Muscular force.
So we're going in detail of muscular force now.
Yeah, a brief about muscular force, the other forces. Okay, so we are discussing all the forces. So when something has to be pushed, pulled, or lifted, muscular force is applied.
The force which we use by our
Our muscles, yes.
the
Yes,
force which we put with the help of muscles.
yes. For pushing, pulling, or lifting any object.
Okay.
Okay. Second is the gravitational force. So just because of the gravitational force, we are able to stay on the ground. Because if gravitational force was not there, then we are not able to stand on the ground.
Okay.
Okay. I'm writing GFS, gravitational force.
Okay, ma'am.
Can I move to next sheet?
Mm,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Third is the frictional force. Frictional force. So frictional force. Frictional force is it slows down a moving object. So even frictional force help us in walking. So I'm just making a small diagram.
Okay, ma'am.
There is a object there. So we are pushing this the pushing force. So frictional force is applying this way from right to left. When we are applying the force to move this object towards the right direction, frictional force is opposing it. Okay.
Okay.
Next
So
is
if you are walking, every person this way will be sliding. So both force means it will go like slowly.
yes. So that's why on roads also roads is the example for frictional force. That's the when the tire of the car are moving is moving. So when we are applying brakes, so this is just because of frictional force, it's slowing down.
Oh,
So next is the elastic force. Stretched rubber band regains its original position so a stretched rubber band regains its original position on being released. So why this happens? This happens just because of elastic force. When we are moving a rubber band, when we are stretching it, so when we are applying the force, so it's getting stretched. But when we are releasing it, so it's coming back in the original position.
oh,
Should I move to next mechanical force?
Yeah.
So mechanical is force when simple tools that we are using. Suppose we are hammering a nail. So we are using some mechanical instruments for doing our work. So at that time,
Okay, the
mechanical
force
force is
created by mechanical instruments.
yes. So simple tools make use of mechanical force.
Force created by mechanical instruments.
Yes. Next is the point force. So point force, it is the upward push of water the upward push of water on a floating object is called point force, or we can say it as upthrust.
Uh,
Upthrust. So if we push a piece of wood, we can feel an upward thrust.
okay. Ma'am, I also have
Yes,
another
Harshita.
doubt. Do humans float in water or sink in water?
Hmm.
Ma'am, do humans float in water or sink in water?
So this is just the case of point force. If the point force is less, is not applying more, so it will float. He
Oh,
or
so
she
we
will
will
float.
float. We will
He or
float.
yes. If the point force is more,
Okay, if it's like in a swimming pool, will we float or sink?
yes.
Ma'am, in a swimming pool, will we float
Huh?
or sink?
So this is just on the application of point force, on the application of the
Yeah,
upthrust.
ma'am, I'm asking in a swimming pool, will humans float?
Why do they float? Go. So yes, they do float because of the point force. Because if the point force is more, then they'll swim upwards. They'll float upwards. If the point force is less, they'll sink.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So energy that we discussed. So these are the types of forces. So now we will understand the various kind of energies. So energy we have discussed, we require energy to do work, right? So
Yeah.
we get lots of nutrients from plants and animals, which are the sources of energy. So these nutrients, you are writing something?
What, ma'am?
You are writing something?
Yeah,
So these, what are you writing?
I'm just writing the heading.
Okay. So, I mean, we require energy to do work. So we get lots of nutrients from plants and animals, which are the sources of energy. So these nutrients in our body is digested and give us energy. The energy which we get from food or nutrients from various foods, right?
Okay.
So a small animal like ass cannot carry load equal to the load carried by an elephant, right?
Yeah.
Elephant carries a huge load while a ass cannot. So hence the energy is the capacity to do work. So every movement in our universe is carried out by the consumption of energy. So therefore we need different forms of
Okay.
energy to do various type of work. For example, heat energy is required to boil the water.
Yeah.
Our voice and sound produced by the different objects possess sound energy. Mechanical energy is required to
Yeah.
lift.
Now also we are using energy to talk about energy.
To talk about energy resources, energy topic. So next, mechanical energy is required to lift or move an object, right? So we use muscular energy to move our body, and a bulb in
Yeah.
our house works on which energy?
Light energy, right?
Yes, electrical energy or light energy. So mechanical energy is further divided into two groups.
Okay.
Mechanical energy is further divided into two groups: kinetic and potential. Kinetic energy, here I am writing, and potential energy. So now we will discuss about kinetic and potential. Can I move to next sheet?
Yeah.
So kinetic energy. The energy that an object possesses by its action is called kinetic energy. So when an object is in motion, okay, so the energy that is possessed by the object is kinetic energy.
Okay.
So suppose a stone thrown on the glass breaks the glass due to kinetic energy, because when a stone is thrown, so in the stone it has kinetic energy. Okay, so
Okay, so it's an energy that an object possesses. So this is kinetic energy. Well, it's
yes,
moving.
when the object is in motion. So here I give an example of stone. When a stone is thrown on the glass, so the stone is in motion,
Yeah.
right? So it breaks the glass due to kinetic energy.
Okay, when an object is in motion, the energy that possesses
Correct. It is
is
kinetic
called as
energy.
kinetic energy.
Yes, yes. So sometimes the ball hits the stamps due to kinetic energy. So when cricket is being played, okay, and when a ball hits the stamps, so kinetic energy was there in the ball. So therefore, a moving object possesses kinetic energy. So kinetic energy of a moving object depends on the mass of the object.
Okay.
Okay. Kinetic energy of a moving object is depends the mass of the. So if the mass of the object is more, then it possesses greater kinetic energy. Okay. If the mass is more, if mass of the object is more, it possesses greater kinetic energy. So if we throw an iron ball slowly on the soft piece of land, so the ball will float on the surface, and if thrown fast, then the ball will dig the land and will enter into the lower surface, into the land. Have you noticed? When we have a hard iron ball, so if that ball is moving slowly on the ground, so the ball will float on the surface, right? If we throw it fast,
Yeah.
so if we throw it fast, then the ball will dig into the land, right? If there is
If we
soil
just put it softly, it will be rolling like this. But if we put it harshly, it will come and
and
dump.
dump, dump the
And
soil,
so it will be rolling like this. If we
yes. So
put it
hence,
softly, it will be rolling. But if we put like this, it will put a hole.
put a hole, yes. So hence, the kinetic energy of an object is dependent on the speed of the object. Okay, it depends on the
Okay.
speed of the object. So now we will talk about potential energy, or because in potential energy, okay, we will discuss potential energy, then the conservation of energy. So the second that I told is potential energy.
Yeah.
So when a body is placed at certain height from the surface of Earth, so the energy it possesses is called potential energy. Right? When a body is placed at,
Mom, shall I come in a minute?
I'm writing
Mom,
the
can I
definition.
come in a minute?
Yes, Harshika, in the meantime, I'm writing the
Yeah.
definition of
Okay,
potential
ma'am.
energy.
Yes.
Yes. So when a body is placed at certain height, right? This is the level of
Yeah.
ground. So when an object is placed at a height, okay, this is the object.
Okay.
So at a height from the surface of the earth, so the energy that it possesses is called potential energy. Okay. So the formula for potential energy is mass into gravitational pull by the earth.
One
This is
second.
the mass of the body, gravitational pull by the earth, and height. H is the height of the body from the surface of the earth.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, Harshika.
Ma'am,
Have you? Yes, you have written.
ma'am, what is G and H?
M is the mass of the body.
1 second, ma'am. So P E is potential
P is,
energy.
yes. P is potential energy. G is the gravitational
Oh, G is gravitation.
pull by the earth, and H is the height of the body from the surface of earth.
Gravitational pull by the earth.
Gravitational pull by the earth, and H is the height of the body from the surface of the earth. So we can say that potential energy of a body depends on the mass and height at which the body is placed from the surface of the earth.
And
So the
H is height.
height of the body from the surface of the earth. Height of the body. So there, this is H. Height of the body from the surface of the earth.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so the potential energy will increase, will be increased by increasing the height from the surface of the earth. Okay, if the height is more than the potential energy.
Okay, so mass of the body is equal to
Gravitational,
mass
uh,
to gravitational pull by the earth to height of the body from the surface of the earth.
yes. So understood, Harshika?
Yes.
Okay, so on Friday we will do the doubt clearance. So send me the other doubts that you will be having. So we will finish that.
Okay, ma'am. I'll send it to you
Okay. So we'll be meeting on Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.